Okay. Aloha, everybody. Thank you, all my friends, for joining me today on the 8-8 Lionsgate portal, or gateway, I guess we're calling it. How many of you out there are brand new to the Lionsgate? Just put it in the chat for me if you're. So one of the really cool features of Zoom is that you can chat me on the side. So if you don't want to unmute yourself, you can go ahead and just type something in, and I'll do my best to watch the chat. If you, there's going to be times during this webinar that I will be asking for your participation and for your questions and for your input, because I like to make things conversational, and I like for everybody to feel, as a group, that we're all part of this together, and allow you to ask me anything that you feel like you want to know that pertains to the topic and the energies that are happening here today. I'll do my best to answer them as authentically as I can from my perspective. I really enjoy doing webinars and enjoy talking to you all, talking to people, because it gives us an opportunity to come together on portals and gateways like today, where there's a lot of information coming around social media, and a lot of information kind of out there in the world, and we're trying to figure out what does this mean for me? Like, how did this help me? Like, what do I do during this time? And I'm sure you guys are all feeling like the intensity of this time right now, and I'm seeing over here in the comments that there's a lot of you that are really just starting to understand or becoming accustomed to the 8-8 gateway to the Lionsgate, which is basically one of my favorite holy days. I started acknowledging the Lionsgate like 10 years ago. Before I was even on social media. I think I was going on some different websites and things and hearing some healers talk about it, and I just thought it was the coolest event, and wondered why it wasn't celebrated like equinoxes and solstices and some of the other landmark gateways that were offered, because I really feel like this is one of the most powerful, empowering dates of the year. 8s are infinity, obviously. As above, so below. They stand for abundance. The figure 8, or the infinity symbol, is that connector between the heaven and the earth realms. And when we have the double infinity going on, and I know some of you really have an affinity for the infinity symbol, or for 8s, or for 88. And so for you, if you're really in alignment with that number, I know Katie does. I know your whole family does. Like, for you, this is an extra important day. Okay, if you feel really aligned with that number, or maybe it's your life path number, to really pull down and utilize the cosmic energies that are coming through today. The cosmos are always conspiring in our favor, even when the energies feel really, really difficult, or really challenging, or really, really intense. The cosmos always know, the divine always knows what it's doing with us and for us. And so when our left brain can kind of understand what's happening, or what the situation is, or why we feel like we do, it can allow our right brain, our intuitive mind and our body to kind of settle into the energetics and not feel so resistance to what can feel like really intense situations about us. So this is an opportunity for us all to come together and talk about, my one of my favorite cosmic days of the year, and maybe for you to share some of your experiences or your thoughts. The Lionsgate is basically the day when ooh, I don't know who that was. When the Galactic Center and Sirius align with the Pyramids of Giza, and the Galactic Center sends down light codes to us in tandem with the star Sirius, with our Syrian brothers and sisters, and there's some Pleiadian stuff in there too, and some Lyran stuff, and bring that energy down through the pyramids in Egypt, and then that through the earth. Okay, through the earth, that goes out across planetarily to all of us. So that's kind of what it is in a nutshell. It's a day for the Sirian energy and the galactic light codes to come through and be anchored into the earth. And so some of you, if you're really connected to Egypt, or feel like you've had a lot of lifetimes there, or feel that that's part of your spiritual or literal lineage, you might be utilized as an antenna to anchor in these energies for all of us on the planet. And so some of you are aware that you're doing this, that that's your role. Some of you may not be aware that that's part of what you're doing, but you just feel like, you know, maybe the extra surge of energies today, maybe you're getting visions, maybe you're having, thoughts and insights. And so if you are feeling today really connected to this date, or feeling really connected to Egypt, to the Syrians, just know that you are likely serving as part of the role, as part of like the antenna for the whole planet. Energy generators. We actually are antennas and acupuncture points for the planet in a variety of ways. And so some of us do have specific roles to bring this energy down and to anchor it in through ourselves and ripple effect that out to everybody else. The codes that are coming in today are also very Atlantean. Atlantis was the precursor to Egypt. Atlantis was settled in large from the Egypt was settled in large from the Atlanteans who left after the fall and came to resettle and recolonize and bring the wisdom and the knowledge over to Egypt. So because I hold a lot of Atlantean energy and bring forth the codes from the great kingdom of Atlantis, and part of my role is to rewrite and rewire, like recalibrate the timelines for this timeline and bring forward the new Atlantis into this realm. And so if you're kind of familiar with Atlantis and what all that means, then maybe you're somewhat on board and understanding what I'm talking about. If you're not, if this is all new information for you, then that's okay too. It doesn't really matter how much you think you know or understand or how much you can comprehend. It's cool if you do. That's kind of what this webinar is all about. But if you don't, if you're just simply here because you're present on planet Earth at this time, and it's really cool, it's really important to be here, it's really special to be here, and you are acting as a part of something really wonderful, that's transformation that's happening on this planet, and you simply just want to show up with your sacred yes and participate in the collective, vision that we're all holding, then that's okay too. I'm going to have some time. Maybe we'll do a little bit of question and answer if you'd like a little bit more information. But for now, just know that the Lionsgate opened up on July 22nd, which was the feast day of Mary Magdalene. That is the Atlantean and the Lemurian New Year. And then July 26th is actually considered like the Egyptian or the Mayan New Year. And that was our day out of time. You guys remember the day out of time on July 26th? I feel the Lionsgate portal, which lasts about 3 weeks, open up on the 22nd. And it will close this year on the 12th, which is just after the new moon that's happening on the 11th. Okay, so in between that, we've had an eclipse. We had a full lunar eclipse. And we're also looking at having a partial solar eclipse on Saturday, on the 11th, yeah? So in between those eclipses, this will be the third of 3 eclipses, we've got the Lionsgate happening as well. So this time of the year during eclipse season, and when we're presented with the Lionsgate, like it's a really powerful opportunity for us to anchor in and to focus on and create and recreate ourselves after the end of eclipse season and into the equinox and beyond, whatever it is, whatever we are moving towards in a heart-led, soul-led life. So I'm going to talk a little bit more about what that means specifically for you, possibly, and for the collective. I'm going to share some of my thoughts and my intuitions about how we can utilize this energy this week, what it means for us, and what we can do going forward, because everybody wants to know what's in it for me, right? We all want to know what can this do for me? How can this help me? How can this support me? Like, it's a great high energy day, but what do I do with all of it? So I'm gonna help you anchor that in. And I'm gonna help you anchor that in through the gold ray. I work with the gold Christed ray and the rays of Atlantis, and talk to you a little bit about how the concrete of our life is really being poured and cured this week. Meaning that most of us have felt timelines, many, many timelines coming in and coming out, right? You guys felt this year, and especially over the last few weeks, like you just don't even know what's going to happen next, because every time we think we're on the timeline or we know the answer. Hi, Carrie. That something shifts and something changes and something else presents itself. And if you're just jumping on, if you want to mute yourself, that would be awesome. Thank you very much. So I'm just going to ask out, and hey, Carrie, can you mute yourself, honey?
Yeah, how do I do it?
Are you on your computer?
Oh.
Go take your cursor and move down to the bottom of the screen, and you'll see a microphone icon come on. Yeah, perfect. Thank you. Oh, wait, not yet. Hit that microphone option, or I can go ahead and I can get you if I need to. Okay. So having said that, having that kind of be like the segue into the topic of this webinar and the information that's coming through, does anybody want to unmute and talk a little bit about maybe what you're experiencing or what your understanding is or what you're feeling about this time?
Is that okay?
Yeah.
Okay. I'm not really sure about a lot of it. I just know, like, I'm learning more and more about it, because I started having like this, like, I don't want to say like spiritual sickness, but I'm overly sensitive to a lot of things happening like around Earth, I think.
Yeah.
I wanted to know what it was, because I had like all these like medical things come up, and then I went to the doctor and there was like nothing, absolutely nothing.
Okay.
So, okay, well, maybe there's, I don't know, something else going on. And more like on Facebook and social media, you start seeing and learning more stuff.
Right, right. So thank you for sharing that. You've got a TV going on back there.
I know, sorry. That's all I wanted to say.
And Belinda says she's exhausted. So how many of you slept last night? Raise your hand if you got any sleep. No sleep. I'm on no sleep. I fell asleep for about an hour, then woke up just before midnight, and I think I laid there in bed until probably 3 or 4 in the morning before my alarm went off at 5:30. When we go through periods or dates when we're getting so much energy, our body and maybe even our guides sometimes will keep us awake to, and when those moments happen, I just kind of go into this surrender of, this is where I'm supposed to be. I'm just supposed to meditate through this and try not to let it frustrate me, or not think about my alarms going off at 5:30 in the morning. I'm going to be so tired, and like really just enjoy the cleansing and the purging. And that's kind of what I felt come through. Like I felt like it was like a cellular cleanse or a cellular purge in order to realign me for what the rest of the week was going to bring. Okay, so what is the rest of the week going to bring? Timelines. We've all been experiencing lots of different timelines and realities and different things shifting in and coming out. We all have things that we want, need, and desire. We all have relationships that we're working on. We have all careers. We have all these different moving pieces of our life that we're looking at that are trying to become the trajectory of our soul path and of our soul mission. Okay, so as you're looking at all of these things, there's a tendency to look a lot at what we don't want more than what we do want, right? So if you're kind of going with human nature and paying more attention to what you don't want than what you do want, I'm going to ask you this week, or really recommend this week, that you not do that. Starting today and starting this moment, put your focus on who and what energy and what opportunities that you want to bring forward. This week, concrete was poured. You know, the concrete of our life has been poured. And through the end of this week, through the end of the new moon on Thursday and the end of the Lionsgate, what we are focusing on the most is going to be where the concrete cures and dries, and those are going to become the new timelines and trajectories of the rest of this year. Okay, so you are, by the end of this week, and really even more so by the time we hit the equinox, I measure time between solstices and equinoxes. I measure time in quarters. So this third quarter of the year that we're in is really all about us being offered many, many choices and opportunities, and Spirit saying, what do you want? You get to make the choice. What are you most called to? What is your heart? What is your soul most called to? What needs to fall away and be released so that these other timelines that are better feeling to you, that feel like they are in tandem with your soul's true north, that you can jump on them and walk on that solid foundation of the concrete that's being poured in your life right now. So I know that sounds like a really big statement, and sometimes people, if you get kind of overwhelmed, like, oh my God, I really have to choose, and I have to choose wisely. Okay, well, you do. That's true. But when we become really, really clear of our worth, clear on our worthiness, clear on our heart's desires, clear on who or what exalts us and makes us feel good, it's not that hard. So we spend way too much time kind of energy leaking and draining to other people in other situations. Some of them we might really feel like we don't have much of a choice to do. Some of them we do have a choice. We have a choice of what kind of boundaries. We have a choice of what kind of participation. Okay, so the more starting today and then through the end of the week, you stay in alignment with your soul's desires, with your true north, and with noticing what does not exalt you. Anybody or anything that does not exalt you needs to sit down. Okay, if somebody is not helping you to feel exalted, they need to sit down out of your life. I actually told somebody Saturday night who was really showing me that he was not trying to exalt me. He was not on my true north. I actually looked at him and I told him to sit down. And he did. He sat down in a chair. You know, I told him, sit down. But for me, that was me verbally claiming what I want and what I don't want. Like me verbally claiming, like, this leaves from my life, so I can put my energy towards what I want to bring into my life. And I see lots of notes in the chat, so I'm just going to read really quick. Yeah, circle of people getting smaller and smaller. You're going to become 4 quarters people instead of 100 pennies. There's nothing wrong with that. Allow people to move into your life, and when you feel complete with that experience, allow it to move on. Okay? Allow people to come and go and drift in and out of your life without it being a personal thing or feeling like we have to cling to that person or that experience or that energy. See what else. So just Katie talking about she's gained a lot of clarity, but some confusion, like what to do with the other. So Katie, do you mean what to do with the things you're not clear about? And you can unmute me and talk to me if you want to.
Well, I just had all these puzzle pieces just coming in, kind of
Yeah.
making the picture more clear. And with that clarity, I'm realizing some things need to change. And I guess I'm just not really sure about what that means. Do I need to just let that go and like chalk it up as a loss and move on? Or, you know, like I feel like what I'm being shown is like stepping forward, but what about right here? So yeah, so with the clarity has brought me to some confusion, and maybe it's just because I'm overanalyzing it.
Clarity and confusion, how paradoxical.
Right, that's not
Like,
been my
how does
life
that
the
work,
last
right?
years. It's been very dualistic, you know.
Yeah. Okay, so paradoxes are the new reality, first of all.
God.
Okay, and if you can accept the notion that paradoxes are the way we're rolling right now, and just be okay with that, and don't let your left brain have to explain or justify or validate why it looks like both, you're going to be free. Go with instead what feels best to you. Some of these things that you're still noticing and are still around, pay less attention to them. Pay attention to the things that really bring you joy, that really feel like they matter the most, and let everything else just kind of sit back there and show itself if it's going to be important for you to pay attention to.
Yeah, that's been how I've been trying to roll with it. I should have the rest of my family sit down and listen to you.
Well, and when you're a family dynamic, it's an extra layer because, you know, we talk a lot about sovereignty. It's really hard to be sovereign when you have a partner, when you have a family, because everybody else's stuff matters. Everybody else's stuff is in the mix. So the most important thing you can do is take care of yourself. Okay, take care of the assignments in your life, the missions in your life that make you feel like a whole, complete woman, that are in alignment with why you came to this planet. Sure, you came to be a wife and a mother, but you and I know that you came here for some other reasons
More
too,
than that.
to do really epic shit on the planet. So as the more you make sure that that's getting fulfilled and that's getting met, okay, the more you're going to be okay having to handle everybody else's, you know, business and drama also. So that goes for all of you. Like, make sure that the reason, you know, your soul mission is being met and answered to first. Then you will have the bandwidth to deal with everything else. It won't feel so resentful, you know, that you have to put other people's considerations and needs and things like that. Take care of those if you're taking care of your own first. And I know that's easier said than done. I really do. So pick out the most important things that are going to make your life feel like you're happy you're here, and like you're on track or on task for your purpose on this planet. And somebody's beeping me real hard over here, so I'm gonna try and find Beatrix's stuff. So paradox and clarity become the aid of the infinity. Yes, that's actually brilliant. Like, it's becoming one, that we're complete, and that all is tied in the oneness and infinity. That's a really beautiful statement and a beautiful way to look at it. We tend to look at everything really dualistically, or like it's either has to be this or it has to be that. Remember, we're multidimensional beings. Okay, we exist simultaneously. We exist multidimensionally. And when you can allow two things that seem to be very paradoxical or dualistic to exist and be okay with that at the same time. Okay, that's freedom. That means some detachment, and it means we really claiming our sovereignty by not having an expectation about how something is supposed to look or appear, and just noticing it and just letting it be what it is, without a lot of emotional interjection of thought and emotion into what we wish it was or how it makes us feel. Pay more attention to the other side of the paradox that makes you feel good. I really pay attention to, I'll get to you in just a second, Katie, pay attention to numbers and how numbers play into all of this. So at the end of the week on 8/12/2018, when the Lionsgate closes and we're on the other side of the new moon and the eclipse, that date is an 11/11. Okay, so 8 and 12 is going to be an 11. 2018 is 11, which also is a 22, which is a master number. 2 and 2 is a 4. Okay, 4 is grounding, its foundation, it's Gaia. It's actually the number of Earth, grounding. So when I tell you this week to pay attention and to focus on that which exalts you, that's what those timelines, those people, those situations, as the concrete begins to dry, okay, that is going to become the new foundation and the cornerstone of the rest of this year and going forward. Does that make sense to everybody? Okay, that 4 that we're going to come to is foundation. And we all know that, we build up from a foundation, right? We build in from the foundation of ourselves. You get to become your own foundation. And the cosmos, the numbers, the planets, the astrology, even though we have 6 planets in retrograde right now, or something like that, don't let that mess with you. All that means is think and move slowly and intentionally through all your life situations. It means go into your intuition. Okay, it means be intuitively led and allow the divine to show you in every step what the next step is. If we want to stop some of the cycles that are happening in our life with people and relationships and situations, it means we can't keep doing the same thing over and over again, because that's insanity. That's the definition of insanity. So I really feel that this week is an opportunity to let go of some of the insanity that we brought into our lives, because we have a tendency to want to fix, rescue, heal, change people or situations in our life, and we let our energy go to something that's not serving us and not exalting us. Katie, do you have something else you wanted to say around that? Yeah, there you go.
I think you touched on it. I guess just to reiterate what you said, it really is challenging to stay sovereign when you're in relationship and with children. And I'm doing the best I can to, just stand firm and what I'm creating in my foundation. I am a 4. That's my life path number. So with a 13 actually is my, so I know all about for myself, but I guess, I think that maybe that's a conversation I can just have with you at another time. You've covered it.
Sovereignty really means that despite any chaos or outside influence, we still know who we are. We still know our core, and we still know our truth.
And then, like you were saying, living with the paradox and not having to live with the, I guess where I'm at really is working with releasing, like I've been faced with a lot of opportunity for forgiveness, an opportunity for releasing resentment, and so many different areas of my life, and not even just current. It just, it's the proverbial onion, right?
Yeah.
So it's been a lot. So I think I'm just still probably digesting some of it too, but
There's really no way to be truly sovereign unless you go live in a cave on a mountain.
Right. It's not
And
possible.
none of us can do that. Okay, so the new sovereignty is being in relationship to other people and to our environment. And despite whatever is happening in those external relationships, environment, situations, we still know who we are. We still know our truth. And we still practice and walk in our truth.
Well, yeah, because without relationship, how do we have that mirror to reflect
That
back to?
contrast. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, exactly. And so life is about contrast. I think we are moving into a time period where we don't have to have the extreme contrast that we've had for so long for all this epic learning. Like, we don't have to put ourselves through that big of a dualistic life anymore. That we can make soul-led choices and make healthy choices for ourselves by looking at what makes us feel good only. Sometimes we have to participate in things that don't make us feel good, but our perspective on that and the level to which we inject our emotional energy is going to help us. That's going to determine how free we are. That's going to determine how quickly we move through the situations. Okay, it's our emotional investment or expectation of how we think things should be or what we wish we were, or our guilt and our shame that hold us back from our sovereignty. Anybody else have anything to mention or any questions to ask? You can unmute yourselves and talk to me if you want.
Hi, Amira.
Hi.
I'm noticing in my dreams very vividly I'm seeing just different dimensions of just different alternate realities of myself, and it's pretty crazy. Just a lot of different
Yeah, that's you really tapping in, and you really tap into your multidimensional selves anyway. Like you really have a sense of that,
yeah.
which is a blessing and a curse, right?
Yeah, totally. It's crazy because when I'm in this different dimension, I know I'm in the different dimension, and I'm like observing everything, and it's such like a crazy experience, and I'm waking up like, wow, it's so
Yeah,
crazy.
you're like Neo.
That's crazy. But
You
yeah,
know,
it's cool.
so most of us have, we have like a knowingness or maybe even a sense that we exist as multidimensional beings, but because we have to be so anchored into this being, into this body, into our third dimensional selves, sometimes we kind of ask ourselves, well, what does that mean? What does that really look like? So in our dream states, we really do get to access more of that. And you guys are going to find as these light codes that are coming in, and the Atlantean light codes and the Syrian light codes that are coming right now are really here to help us understand that you can send other versions of yourself to take care of stuff. Okay, that we don't have to do it all ourselves, this physical body. Okay, that we can energetically send versions of ourselves to take care of things in our life. Does that make sense to anybody?
Yes.
Yes, thank you. That's cool.
So as you become aware of yourself and these other dimensions, you're aware because they're actually here to assist you. And hello, Diana Lynn.
Hello, Miss Amira.
I'm going to mute you up real quick, okay?
Okay, how do I do this?
I gotcha. I gotcha, sweetie. Don't worry about it.
Thank you.
Okay, and so part of living in the paradox that is like reality of life is understanding that we don't always have to make a choice this or that we can have it all. Okay, so you guys, I want you to start dreaming really big. I want you to start untethering yourself from your perceived conditioned version of whatever you think reality is, and open yourself up this week to all those things you think that you can do and are here to do that you can, because we are all metahumans. You know, we all are fifth dimensional and above multidimensional cosmic super beings. And even though this earth experience and some of the challenges maybe show us differently, okay, the truth is you have these other versions, you have these other aspects of yourself who are willing to go to work and help you out and help resolve things for you. I'm just reading in some of the comments in the chat. Yeah, all time. Okay, so freedom, when we realize that all timelines are one and that we are present or complete in their unity, we are infinite. And that, I mean, that sounds like a great big statement. Like it sounds like a great big, you know, what do I do with that statement? And I think the realization of believing that that is true just comes from you. Like, this is what I do. I just go into meditation before I go to bed. And I call up all parts of myself who are willing to help and willing to assist me with all my earth duties and challenges. I just ask them to take care of the details. I just ask them to go in and resolve this and resolve that. And I always ask God to show me the truth. Show me the truth of this situation. Show me 100% undeniably the truth of this person, this situation, this reality, so I can either amplify it because I want more of it in my life, or collapse it. Okay, and you guys can do that. Let go of control. Let go of the struggle of needing to know and understand all the time, and go really into trust. This week, as we're curing the concretes that we're laying in our lives for all these things that are going to set the tone, okay, as we're creating that foundation, okay, you today are becoming or remembering that you're infinite beings. And the codes that are coming down through Atlantean, I'm starting to activate the Atlantean codes for you. And you've all been Atlantis, by the way, one or more times. Some of you remember really well. Some of you maybe don't remember quite as well, but like the idea. So if you can even like the idea that as an Atlantean, you knew and understood yourself as a multidimensional being, and life was just seamless and flawless, and we work together in community. We work together as a collective, okay, because we all come from the collective one mind. And when we go in and harness that truth, okay, that we are multidimensional cosmic super beings, then suddenly the divine can come down and can fix stuff for us. We don't have to do it all ourselves. We have a team. We have guides and we have angels. How do you feel about that? Yeah. Most of us don't ask for help enough to the etheric, to the etheric realms. We don't ask for help enough. All these beings are here to help us. Cutie. I'm trying to get back to my original chat page. Oh, there it is right there. Hey, Veronica, I'm glad you're having a whole new world of thought. We really limit ourselves through this little spectrum of time and space that we see with our five senses. And when you guys unlimit yourself from being a five-sensory being and become a multi-sensory being, okay, and I help people with this. And if you're one of my students, my regression students, you help people with this all the time, to go into those other realms where there is assistance, where there are other guides, where there are other beings that we can communicate with freely, who can come forward and help us out, because they are us. Yeah, you just forget to ask. We all think, we kind of have this thing where we think we have to do it alone. We have to do it all by ourselves. We don't. We're not meant to do any of this by ourselves. We are the central point, the antenna for everything else that goes out and comes back to us. Okay, that comes for us. We're the energy generators. We generate it by our thoughts, and mostly we generate it from our emotion behind the thoughts, because we have lots of thoughts all the time. We have thoughts going all over the place. Some of them show up in our reality as stuff. Most of them just kind of go out there willy-nilly. But it's the stuff that we send out with emotion and focus that want to manifest in our life the quickest and the easiest. Okay, so what if we became conscious creators through looking at what it is we do want to create, and not paying so much attention to what we don't, or when something comes in our field that we don't, we just go, oh, and let it drop. No, thank you, and let it go, and make room. And let energy come out before energy energy out before energy in. That's something that I've said and written over and over and over again. So let the energy out so new energy can come in. You guys know I'm a big fan of doing, most of you know, new moon plates. Doing a plate for yourself on the new moon. And if you're not familiar, I'm going to put the video up today. Create yourself something, a piece of art through a plate with some markers, and draw in and write in those things that you are bringing forward into your life. And it doesn't matter how good or bad of a drawer or a color you are. That's not what's important. What's important is the intention. And what is important is the prayer. And what is important is that you are willing to be your own advocate, show up for yourself, okay, and ask and claim these things and believe that they are ready to be given to you, because you've stopped believing all the BS and all the lies about yourself that you have to settle for less or that you don't get to have. Okay, this week, and anchoring in that infinity, and I think I'm going to do a little infinity activation with you guys here in a few minutes. Okay, that is about us bringing heaven to earth for ourselves. And I don't want to present it as a bunch of like woo-woo talk, a bunch of new age stuff. I want you guys to really know that this real life intention and focus, these meditations and these activations really do work, and they really will help you.
Maya, when do we do that plate?
Pardon? Oh,
when do we
anytime before the new moon. The new moon is on Saturday.
Okay.
It's on Saturday. It might be on Friday for me because I'm many hours behind some of you. But Friday, Saturday, you do this plate, and I'll post the video up on Facebook here after we're done. And that anytime we create, because that's what we are as creators, right? Anytime we focus our intention on something in the physical, it helps bring that heaven to earth. Yeah. Yeah, I'm ready to receive too. I am really hyper focused right now on the things that I am creating in my life, and only taking with me who and what exalts me. Anybody and anything else that doesn't needs to sit down because I'm on a mission. And I'm on a mission to open up my heart and give my sacred yes to all the cool stuff that I pre-planned for myself before I came. And I hope that you'll be willing to do the same. You guys all planned really cool stuff for yourself. You all pre-planned it. Okay, so this week as we move into the third of the three eclipses, and the eclipse, the solar eclipse is new beginning. We had a new beginning eclipse about a month ago, and then we went into this ending with the lunar. And everything that has been changing and shifting over this last month kind of all culminates as we pop through the eye of the needle on Sunday with this third eclipse. We're going to carry this energy forward, and you're going to see things, you're going to see life and events and situations move and change really, really fast as we get to the equinox. Whatever you are focusing on the most this week, that's going to start to shift and move and change really, really fast in September. New lives are going to be created. Some of you are going to get to September, to the equinox, and you're going to be on this completely new trajectory. Like it's going to be, you're just sort of like taken out of one life and popped into another. So you can consciously create that for yourself if you want to. Decide what you would like that to look like. Let spirit bring the pieces together. Okay? Or you can let life have its way with you. Don't do that. Have your way with life. We should all be having our way with life, not letting life have its way with us. Which doesn't mean we control. Okay? Which doesn't mean that we're going to boss life around. It just means that we're going to partner with life. We're going to partner with the cosmos. And we're going to do this work in this journey together, remembering the cosmos is always here to support us and elevate us. So really, this is your week to really dial in on how you would like to become exalted. Really, which really just means what you're going to do to bring you joy, what you're going to do to make you happy. That's all it is. Any questions or comments on that? Somebody can unmute and chat me if they want to.
Hey, Amira.
Hi. Hi.
I'm on my island in Alaska.
I'm on my island in Hawaii.
I know.
Cheers,
I found a
cheers
portal.
to the Ina. You found a portal, okay?
I found a portal. Now, the people are getting less reluctant as I've been around them, my family members. And when I invite them to the portal, I just want to feel they're protected.
Okay.
If you're bringing people that haven't been to a portal before, what might be something I can do to help them feel more comfortable?
I wouldn't over-explain, first of all. I would just say, hey, you're talking about a location, yeah?
Yeah.
A portal? Okay. Just trying to be clear. Just say, I found this location or this part of the island that just feels really, really good to me. I feel really close to like God or divine energy. And I wondered if you'd like to come share it with me for a little while. It's just a really special place. And I'd like to share it with you.
Thank you.
Keep it simple.
That sounds good.
Keep it simple.
Simple.
Without an expectation of how you want them to feel or what they might receive. Just say, this is really a special space for me. And I'd really be honored if you would share it with me.
Thank you.
Simple. None of this woo-woo stuff has to be complicated, people. When, we all have people in our lives that, are on different spaces with their spirituality or their thoughts or their feelings. And sometimes we want to overtalk our perspective or our thoughts or what we believe. Instead of just inviting somebody into the space and just say, this is special to me. You're special to me. I'd like to share it with you. And just you have your experience and let them have theirs and see what happens. You guys want to do a infinity activation? Yeah? Yeah, Anita says when she talks to her husband, she's mystical and he's reality. Well, that you have an as above, so below relationship. If you have, if one of you is like, I guess, super woo-woo, we'll call it, or mystical, and the other one is more practical, that's the as above, so below, and somewhere you find a way to meet in the center. So nobody has to compromise their true north or their integrity of their beliefs, but all can be honored, all can be accepted. And that's how we learn from our relationships, by being empathic or being aware of other people's perspectives and beliefs and realities. Like that's how we grow, is from each other and from the contrast in relationships. So somebody asked, what is a portal? I didn't get to see who that was. There are different energetic spots on the planet. where energy feels really high or really strong. Sometimes they're a vortex type of energy where energy can come in or maybe go out. And so that's what Diana Lynn was talking about. She just found a portal where she can feel and access her multidimensional self or maybe other multidimensional beings and tap in and feel into what that energy feels like. So let's do an infinity activation together, a double infinity activation. And if you've been with me for a while, following for a while, you've done this activation before for me or with me, but it's always a good one for obvious reasons on this day, the infinity, and also because it will open up your auric field. And so a little bit of what we're going to do today, what I'm going to ask you to do, and you guys all know about your aura, like above your head and below your feet and right and left and front to back, right? Guys, all you know, you have this little egg-shaped bubble that's around your body. That is your aura, your energy field. And some of us have really big ones if you're an extroverted person or excited, and some of us have smaller ones if you're a little more introverted or a little bit more you kind of like to keep to yourself. There's no right or wrong. We all just are who we are. But your aura is designed to do many things. It's a sender and receiver of energy. It's also designed to protect you, shield you from energetics and other people's things around you, other energies around you. Most of the time our aura works like a sponge instead of a shield. Most of the time we sponge in everything and everyone, and all this energy gets trapped into our field because we're not really taught, well, you can actually utilize your aura and surround yourself in white light and keep your sacred space, which I believe my aura is my sacred space. Keep that yours. So as we go through this, we're going to do a little bit of, grounding and going above and going below and opening up our auras to whatever degree you feel like you'd like to open yours up today, and putting some white light and clearing, and then moving in two infinity symbols. One will be vertical, one will be horizontal. So we'll have one going this way and then one going this way. And I wore my heart chakra shirt for you guys today to send out the high vibes to all of you. And so just do the best you can with this meditation, remembering there's no right, there's no wrong. It all works because you said yes. It all works because you intended it to be so. So everybody ready? And just go ahead and put your feet on the floor if you're sitting. And start breathing into the space. And just ground yourself through your breath, just bringing breath and life force and mana into your lungs and into your body. And releasing down to the soles of your feet. And through breath, we bring ourselves present. Through breath, we draw in the Holy Spirit. We draw in the Holy Spirit, the light, and we come back to ourselves. Just letting all energies and all conversations of the day just kind of fall away as you decide just to come fully present in your physical body in this moment. And enjoying how good it feels to feel that presence of your own body and of your own self. That self with the big S, not the little self, like the exalted self, going through appreciating your body and appreciating that you have lungs that draw in oxygen and a heart that beats and hands and fingers that can work well. And some of you might start to feel some energy kind of come to life in your hands, especially if you're an energy practitioner. My hands are starting to heat up really well, so you might feel some of that as well. And I want you just to draw down that energy kind of in a circular motion in through your nose. And just arc it up above your head. And exhale down through the crown of your head, all the way down to the ground. And we're going to take a few more breaths that way, just inhaling in deeply and arc that energy way up high above your head with every breath. Bring it back down to the crown of your head and down to your feet. And as we take more and more nice deep breaths, just arcing that energy up higher and higher, up through our auric field, up into the cosmos, and drawing down that light of the Holy Spirit down in through your body. And releasing some doves that hold the fire of the Holy Spirit, and releasing down into your field the gold ray, into the crown of your head, the Christed light gold ray, and just beginning to develop that as above and so below as you release your breath down into your Earth Star chakra, right down beneath your feet. Just feeling that gentle magnetism of your feet, drawing up your Earth Star chakra, just gently grounding you to yourself. And just running that gold ray, running that fire of spirit down through your body, all the way down below your feet and back up again, until you start to feel expansive and open and connected to the very highest heavens, connecting down through yourself to yourself into your Earth Star chakra beneath your feet. And so some of you, or all of you, might start to see some symbols coming down into your third eye or into your crown chakra. If you don't see any symbols, that's okay too. Just know that they are being given in this moment as well. When we go through these light code activations from the Galactic Center, often what is released to us are symbols, very ancient symbols. Some you might recognize, some you won't recognize. Doesn't matter. Just let them come forward, these light codes, these activations. And the ancient light codes from Atlantis, from the kings and queens of Atlantis, moving down into our fields. And just as you're doing this, envision your auric field opening up top to bottom and front to back and side to side, and just allow that field of energy that surrounds you and supports you 360 degrees just to gently just become aware of where that space is around your body, where it is out in front of you and behind you and side to side and top to bottom. And just becoming more and more aware of your spirit self, your physical self, and feeling how good it feels just to rest gently in the gold ray and in your breath. Just falling into the ease and the grace of being fully here and being present with yourself. And I'm going to give you an opportunity as I have you create the infinity symbol in your field as we go through and we create that. And you'll just be listening to the sound of my voice to put the infinity symbol in your field. I would like you to focus on your dreams. I would like you to focus on your desires. And I would like you to focus on what brings you joy. And as you focus on all these different elements and aspects and desires, I'm going to ask you to focus on them as if they are here fully present now, because they are. And bring them into your heart space and into your field, into this reality. So if we go right to the center of our chest, kind of in that spot that's right between your heart and your solar plexus, there's an energy center there. It's called the sacred soul chakra. And if you're not familiar with the sacred soul chakra, it's actually our 13th chakra in our body. It's an activation point for Christ consciousness, and it is an activation point for us to create. So as you focus on that space right in your body, just breathe into it. I see mine as white, brilliant, beautiful white light. Whatever you want to see yours as, whatever color is just fine, but just breathe into that and allow that to open and expand and that white light to come into your field, your energy all around you, and clear your energy field. And clear your aura and open you up to all possibilities and open you up to receiving. White light is purification. White light is protection, and when we intermingle that with the gold coming through your field, you really allow yourself to accept a level of grace and a level of pure Christed light that opens us up to knowing ourselves as being capable of creating anything we desire in our life, in our physical reality. So back into that space, right between your heart and your solar plexus, that sacred soul chakra, we're going to start there, and I'm going to have you envision out the right side of your body, a golden thread of energy coming up and arcing out from that center space over your right shoulder, out the width of your arm, where your arm would be, and coming back around, making a loop and anchoring into your sacred soul. And then moving out the left side of your body, moving in a golden thread of energy out the top of your shoulder, out the width of your aura, and looping that back around, back into the sacred soul. So you have created an infinity symbol horizontally from right to left in your field. And that is the first of our infinity symbols that we're going to place into our aura. And just feel into that, into the expansiveness of it. And feel how it kind of reinforces even your aura, like it opens it up and expands it. And just play with it a little bit if you want to. Like, make it as expansive as you like, if that's what you like. And really feel into the infinite nature of yourself coming alive through symbols. Symbols are just sound that is turned into matter. When people chant Om, for instance, and you see that symbol for the Om, that's that sound creating matter. So even if on your own you want to do a little bit of a chant or a tone as we're moving through this, that chant or that tone or that sound coming from your voice, from yourself up through yourself, will start to create into your field. So the next infinity symbol that we are going to create will be vertical, above the head and below the feet. So going back to that center point, to the sacred soul chakra, and moving up the right side of your body, up around your head, and looping that golden thread of energy up over your head and circling it back around to the left or down the other side of your body and anchoring it into your sacred soul, creating the first loop of the infinity, and then down the right side of your body and bringing that line of energy down under your feet and looping it back up and linking it into your sacred soul chakra. So that sacred soul chakra has become the center point, hosting your dual infinity symbol. And so suddenly we have the as above, so below, not only as concept, but as something that is tangible in our field. So remember, our thoughts and our intentions create. And if you just created a dual infinity symbol in your energy field, guess what? It's real. And it's true. And as you are feeling into the expansiveness around you through this dual infinity symbol where all things are possible, go ahead and just pull in and set right into the center point, into your sacred soul chakra, all those things that you are focusing on and intending for yourself, all those things that bring you joy, that make you feel on purpose, all those things that exalt you, all those things that make you feel good and help you to know you are on your soul's mission. And give you a couple of minutes just to sit and focus very, very deeply on bringing all those concepts, ideas, people, situations, thoughts right into your being. What is it you desire? Then as we finish up this meditation, I would like you all to take 3 really deep, intentional breaths. And with every breath in, offer yourself your sacred yes. And I even say that to myself. I give my sacred yes. I give my sacred yes. I give my sacred yes. And today on the 8/8 date of infinity, on this Lionsgate date, I hereby declare that all our thoughts, our intentions, all that which we intend and desire for ourselves through the power of the Holy Spirit and through the power of us being the ultimate authority and creator of our sovereignty and of our desires and of all things that make us feel good and joyful in this world, I hereby declare that it is in spirit we give our sacred yes. And you guys can stay in that space for another moment or two if you like, if you need to. And just know that everything we've done here in this moment will stay with you and work with you for the rest of the day. Anybody have any thoughts or want to share anything about your experience? We'll just take a couple of people real quick. How'd you guys do? And yes, Donna, there will be a replay. I'll put this up probably tomorrow as a YouTube video and post it on Facebook. Good. I'm glad you feel good. A couple of things just to mention to you all while you're all in this zenned out space. I'm going to hold a retreat on Kauai in December, the Atlantis Rising retreat. I'll have information on that right around the new moon, probably Friday or Saturday. I'll launch it out. I would love to bring some or all of you to the island to share a week with me in this beautiful place. We're going to do some Atlantean activations and ceremony. Part of my task as an Atlantean emissary is to rewrite the spirals, the Atlantean spirals of time, to co-create the new Atlantis and the new Earth in collaboration with my community. So if you're interested in that at all, that'll be December 4th through 10th. Love to have you here on the island with me. Thanks for the love, Barb. Mm-hmm. Thank you to all of you for participating and allowing me to express myself to you in this way. Community and collaborating is one of the most important things that we can do together. It's one of the most joyful parts of my job, I guess. You guys know you can reach out to me on Facebook if you ever want to chat me up or give me any insights or ask any questions about, you know, what we've done today together. If you have anything to share, always open to that. I'll do my best to get this up on YouTube and on Facebook tomorrow, so you can, if you wanted to pass it on to your friends, even though this is 8/8, you know that the information, the energy will be relevant forever and ever and ever, because, you know, it all just keeps going and moving forward. Oh, also, if anybody would like a session with me this month in August, I'll give you 25% off just for hanging out with me today. We can do some work that's specific to you if you feel so inclined. And I'll just ask one more time if anybody has anything they want to share or say before we close. Yeah, Nina, I hope you come with me. I hope you'll come out here. We're going to have a good time. Okay, I guess that's it. Nobody wants to unmute. I'm going to try and go. Oh, go ahead.
That was fantastic, Amira. Thank you so much.
Yeah, you're welcome. Yeah, Diana Lynn's been out here with me. Shay's been out here with me. Katie's been out here with me.
Next, I'm bringing my mom.
Right on. It's good to see your face as always.
You as well. Thank you for being such a bright light out there. Sometimes your energy is what keeps me from imploding.
Aw. Well, we all need each other, that's for sure.
It's true. It's true.
You know, and if anybody asks you, if anybody asks you, anybody asks you, why you're able to do all these things, why you're able to be, you know, a multidimensional cosmic super being, you tell them that it's because Amara said I could. Amara said so. I know, I really do. I really
because
do.
I know a mermaid.
Because a mermaid told me it was true. All right, guys. Thank you so much. Aloha. Sending you waves of love and everything under the sun and moon and stars.
Aloha, beautiful.
Aloha, guys.